And as I said on my show Sports Take earlier today, here's what's generating most of the hype. Because see, Howie Roseman didn't bring in just role players, okay? He didn't bring in roster fillers. He brought in players who were significant contributors to the other teams they were with, okay? A.J. Brown, 1,000-yard receiver his first 2 years, missed some games last year, finished under 900 yards. James Bradbury, when he was with Carolina, was considered one of the premier corners in the game, and of course, money reasons got him jettisoned out of New York.
Oh, man, this is like a holiday. Oh, my God. And by the way, this thing at Oceans on Sunday, this post-game show, man. Okay, so you're going to have Mike Missinelli, who texted me last night. He goes, so how do you think this thing's going to go? I go, well, you got D. Gunn there. He's the only guy with any kind of reason. The rest of you two guys are going to be barking like dogs at one another. Seth's going to hate the defensive coordinator, okay, and the way the defensive system is. And, Mike, you're going to be baiting him. And D. Gunn's going to be actually the only voice of reason in the room. Our friend from Sports Take, they do a great job. I watch it every day. It's my friend D. Gunn. He joins me here now. Dude, man, I mean, I can't wait to watch. I get more people in Philly doing this to me. Even Seth goes, how do you think? I go, this thing's going to be spectacular on Sunday, man. Between the show going on and this thing on Sunday, man, it's got to be like a holiday to you, know? By the way, congratulations on the addition.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, 2 weeks. Wow. Man, time flies. He's 2 weeks old today. Elijah Joshua Massey. He was 7 pounds, 9 ounces, little ball of joy. His 14-month-old sister thinks that's her play toy now. So it's funny. And if he's anything like the 14-month-old, he is going to be a hoot. And then I have a 3.5-year-old who's almost 4 who's here now, and he's a character. Dude, I got to start getting back in shape to keep up with these kids, man. Hey, changing diapers and rocking babies to sleep. I haven't done that in years.
I'm going to give you one bit of advice.
Yeah.
Diaper genie.
Hey, if I got to pay for it, I ain't buying it.
No. You take the diaper off. You put it in this thing.
Yeah.
It compresses it into a.
Oh, yeah. My daughter has one of those.
Yeah. Man, that was the godsend for me because I'm changing diaper. My wife goes, well, you got to change these diapers. I mean, look, I pushed this hellion out here. This is on you now here, man.
Yeah.
And I sat around for 2 weeks in my underwear. I didn't get changed. That's all I did. I sat around for 2 weeks with my daughter in my underwear and diaper genie. That's it.
But see, Big Sil, my wife and I, we said to ourselves, and to my son-in-law's parents also, we got together last week. We said, isn't our lives supposed to get easier at this stage? That's what happened to our parents. They sent us off. We raised our kids, and we brought them home to see grandma and grandpa once or twice a year. And man, I got a daughter, a son-in-law, and a almost 4-year-old living here. The other wife with 3 kids lives 12 miles down the road. And then my son moved back home. So in my house, I have 5 adults, 3 crazy dogs, and a 3-year-old demolition expert. And I'm thinking, now, after I do the show, when I'm done at 3 o'clock, here's my day. When I'm done at 3 o'clock every day, I race 2 miles down the road to pick up my 3-year-old grandson from preschool. I bring him home. I babysit him until my daughter either gets off work at 4:15 or my other son-in-law gets home at 5:30 from work. And then as soon as I try to catch my breath, it's a honey-do list a mile long waiting for me. Okay? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I love to fish. I fished 4 times this entire summer because I'm on everybody else's time but mine.
Well, you better make some time next year because Jimmy Johnson's got it set up. We're going to go on the boat, and he's got a boat for us.
Oh.
And this thing is going to be deep sea tuna fishing.
Oh.
And the whole thing's paid for.
What?
All you have to do is get down there. It's 2 days of being out in the water, and they put you up in accommodations. The wife can come. You can take your significant other. So you and your wife, I think it's around your anniversary.
In March.
You just take her down there. It's like between, I think, 4th and the 6th of like March, something
Yeah,
like
my
that.
anniversary is the 6th. I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah.
Impeccable memory.
A few things I do have is my memory. Other than that, my body's gone to shit, so I don't. Hey,
Dude.
I'm like Barrett now. By the way, you tell Barrett I'm very disappointed you left 2 White Castles in the box. Not good, man.
Dude,
when you get an 8-pack, you're supposed to eat them all.
Why not just eat X-Lex? If you can eat that mess, why not just consume X-Lex? I'm serious. I mean, when I was coming up, I grew up in Milwaukee, and the closest White Castle we had was in Chicago. So, you know, me and my boys, when we were 18, 19, we would drive down to Chicago maybe once a year just to get White Castles. It was cool then. But back in 2017, you know, Barrett and I and a producer named Aaron Telaznik, we made an excursion. We drove from Philly to Minneapolis for the Super Bowl. And we, you know, filmed it along the way, stopping at rest stops, clowning and stuff. Soon as we get to Minnesota, we get to St. Paul before we get to our hotel in Minneapolis. Barrett sees a White Castle he has to pull in. I'll say, I'm going to buy one just to see what I'm missing here. And I'm not trashing White Castle because I know a lot of people like White Castle.
Wait a minute. What time of the day was it?
It was probably like about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
No. They're better near midnight.
Oh, you know, yeah, when you got the munchies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So I get one. This man buys a box of 8 and eats all 8 of them. And I tasted my one. I'm like, I'm done. I took 2 bites and said, I'm done. I hate to say it. I can't do it. Brother, I couldn't do it. Barrett scarfed all 8. And I'm like, dude, why do you do that to your system? What does your system do to you?
Oh, God, man. You guys have such a good time on
Oh,
Sports
my goodness.
Remember, man, to check those guys out daily, Monday through Friday, man. They do such a great job. All right, Derek, the hype of this team. Here, I hear you, and by the way, your stuff is so good. Hear me out on this here.
Okay.
There are so many new faces on the defense.
Right.
There's new faces on the offense. This is all potential talk we're talking.
Yeah.
The Bills made 2 significant moves.
Yep.
They brought Phillips back, and they got Von Miller and a couple draft choices. They had no significant turnover on that team. And I've always said this, the teams that don't make a lot of moves are traditionally the teams that have the greatest success.
True.
Why the hype this year, you think, for this football team? And here, let me add a little caveat to that. Is this the most hyped Eagle team since you've been covering the team?
No, I would say the most hyped Eagles team is a combination. It would be that 2004 team that went to the Super Bowl because there were such high expectations. You had Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown on that team, Doc on the back end with Michael Lewis. You know, you had the bookends. You had Trey Thomas and John Runyon. Donovan was in his heyday. Brian Westbrook was one of the premier dual backs in the league at that time. And T.O. was involved with that team. And T.O. came back, as you remember, missed the latter part of the season, came back for the Super Bowl and played on a less than 100% ankle and still had over 120 yards catching for them. They had a chance to win that game. Then you look at the Dream Team when they brought in Nnamdi Asomugha and all these dudes. And that team crashed and burned. Okay. I would say this is one of the top 3 most hyped teams since I've been covering this team. And I've been covering this team since 1997. So there's a lot of hype, and I understand why. And as I said on my show Sports Take earlier today, here's what's generating most of the hype. Because, see, Howie Roseman didn't bring in just role players, okay? He didn't bring in roster fillers. He brought in players who were significant contributors to the other teams they were with, okay? A.J. Brown, 1,000-yard receiver his first 2 years, missed some games last year, finished under 900 yards. James Bradbury, when he was with Carolina, was considered one of the premier corners in the game, and, of course, money reasons got him jettisoned out of New York. Johnson, down in New Orleans. You know, they couldn't come to a meeting of the minds money-wise. Aggressive player, tutored under Malcolm Jenkins. Okay. Who else? Kazir White. Every day the Chargers is talking. They talk openly about they hate the fact they let Kazir White, but you can't pay everybody.
I think he's going to football this year.
I do too. If, and this is a big if Jonathan Gannon uses his weapons properly, this will easily be a top 10 defense. Easily.
D-Gun, when you say that, though, they were top 10 last year. And
yeah, they were.
Let me say this to you.
Yeah.
Here's my biggest problem with Jonathan Gannon. I don't like when coaches start to single out or organizations single out that it was the players a year ago
Right.
that you were the reason that you couldn't be creative. I think this guy, like Seth Joyner does, I think who he is who he is. He's not going to change his stripes. I think today's NFL, Derek, is this: keep everything underneath. We saw it last night.
We saw it last Buffalo all
even
day.
with the Bills, but the only difference is those Bills players have been together longer,
Absolutely.
and their front four got after the quarterback because that O-line was not efficient enough to stop them. When you got four guys beating five guys, you control a football game.
Absolutely.
And those secondary guys, they're hitters. Those corners are really good.
They don't miss tackles.
All of a sudden, I get today's mentality, and I think Seth and I have to climb out of that Jim Johnson and Bud Carson type style where, look, man, I mean, Reggie White and LT and those guys, they could find numerous. They'd be like perfect today because you can't hit these guys. So I get that. But, boy, Jonathan Gannon, man, I mean, you think he improves from a year ago, D-Gun, just because he's got better players on his team?
See, that's why I have a wait-and-see mentality with Gannon, because I truly believe he's going to play that 7 to 9 yards off the receivers and keep everything in front of them. The difference is Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, arguably the best dual safety combination in the NFL, because they can flat-out fly. The corners can flat-out fly, and the number one corner, Tre'Davious White, didn't even play the game. Okay, so they've got a bunch of dudes that can flat-out fly to the ball and get to the receiver. Did you notice how quickly they would get to the receiver by the time the receiver caught the ball and turned to try to make a move up the field?
That gap down.
Dude,
I thought they were
sick.
so prepared, and McDermott showed me so much on that defense last night. They were well prepared.
It was sick, man. Now, we don't know if the Eagles secondary can do that. We think it's a good secondary on paper. It looks, but see, I don't have to tell you this. You don't play the game on paper. My concern is, how long will it take for all of these new toys Jonathan has at his disposal to gel? Now, I do think, and I'm not overlooking any opponent, I do think Detroit is the perfect team for this team to come out, the Eagles to come out, make mistakes, and still beat this team by double digits. I look at Detroit, a team that was 3-13-1. They didn't make any significant wholesale changes. They're coming back to the workplace with basically the same group of guys, except a few additions, Aiden Hutchinson, but I don't see them out-muscling the Eagles. The only way Detroit has a chance to beat this team is to out-muscle the Eagles. I don't think they can do that on either side of the football. I think they have some nice component weapons, DeAndre Swift, St. Brown, but I don't think Hawkinson, I don't think they have enough weapons to really beat this Eagles team, to march down the field consistently 10, 12, 14 plays and beat this Eagles team. So I think the Eagles can come out rusty because the starters have only played 1 or 2 series the entire preseason together. They can come out, make mistakes, and still have a good measure of success. I really won't be able to judge what Jonathan Gannon is or is not until that next Monday night game against Minnesota, when the competition level increases significantly.
Absolutely. And, for those I just got through saying, the Vikings are going to be in a divisional matchup this weekend with the Packers, so they're going to be primed and ready, and they're not going to have like a preseason team to play against. And I'm not I'm saying the same thing you're saying about the Lions. I'm saying more 28-20.
Yeah.
I talked to Chris Spielman the other day, who's an executive up there now, and from what I'm understanding is they're going to put 8 guys in the box, and they're going to try to make Jalen Hurts try to beat them. Now, I still think they out-muscle them because I think the Eagles are that football team. D-Gun, you don't think Shane Steichen and Sirianni and these guys are going to do something crazy and get into a jabbing contest where last year they threw hands, knocked them out early. It was 44-6.
Right.
You don't think they're going to keep them in the ball game and do something completely different because they want to open up the passing game? It won't make sense.
Well, I think I said it earlier today. I would not be surprised if the Eagles came out throwing the ball, because if you look at that series, the only series we saw Jalen Hurts play, they went down the field. They didn't run the ball. They threw it. He was 6 for 6 on that series. They got a touchdown. He got off the field.
Jets series.
The Jets, yeah. So I can see them coming out, going down the field, passing the ball, get Detroit thinking about the passing game, and then all of a sudden punch him in the mouth with the running game and try to control the game that way. And then they'll say, let's see if you can stop us. You couldn't stop us last year in the run. Let's see if you can stop us now. I don't care if Aiden Hutchinson is here. He's going up against Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. And if they move him to the inside, he's got another Pro Bowler there and Jason Kelsey waiting for him. So let's see what this Aiden Hutchinson is all about. Michael Brockers. Let's see if our two guys can beat your two guys on the edge. I don't think it would be smart for Detroit to put 8 men in the box against this Eagles offense because Detroit does not have the personnel. Tampa Bay did the same thing against them with in that playoff game in January. Okay?
Agreed.
You put 8 men in the box, you're going to leave A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Pascal, one-on-one coverage?
The Lions don't have that back end like the Bucs do.
Are you serious? You're going to leave them a one-on-one coverage with these guys? Now, if they do get pressure on Jalen, let's see how quickly he can decipher what he's looking at and get the ball to one of his hot reads. That's going to be interesting to see. If Detroit finds out they have a measure of success putting heat on Jalen consistently, that's going to be an interesting ball game right there.
You know, I heard you say something because you've been covering this team, like you said, since '97 about how he, in the last 2 days, he's been restructuring the contracts of people so he can get more into the cap. By the way, $5.5 million of the Alshon Jeffries deal finally comes off the books this year, too, at the end of the year. And the cap is going to go up big time. My question for you is, do you think they're preparing at the end of the year to start contract talks with Jalen Hurts? And that
I think right now Jalen is in a 17-game audition. He knows it. He's in a 17-game audition. This team has to come to a meeting of the minds at the conclusion of this season that Jalen is or is not the franchise quarterback moving forward. They are armed with 2 first-round picks next year. So in a great position if they have to go into the draft looking for a quarterback, and I wouldn't put it past Howie to try to move up if he decides he needs a quarterback. But we're going to find out what Jalen is or is not. I think they made all these moves. They've done 3 players, restructured 3 players' contracts in the last 48 hours. In my time covering Howie, that tells me there might be another move on the horizon early in this season. Once the season starts and they decipher that they may need another body at another position, well, at that point, guess what happens? You got a whole lot of veterans sitting at home, anxious, waiting by phone for somebody to call them, and they'll come in here in one of those one-year deals and play out the season and try to enhance their status to get bigger money next year. So whether it could be a running back, could it be another secondary personnel guy? Don't know.
Could it be Bates in Cincinnati because he's on a one-year deal?
Could be. You don't know. You just don't know. But anytime Howie does something like that, they're going to make a move. To me, it's going to make a move before the trade deadline. They're going to wait and see what they need and then decide exactly what it is they want.
Finally here, success for Jalen Hurts in 2022 will be what for you? When you think of success this season, what's success? Because some people put it with numbers. Some people put it with wins, division titles, playoff wins. What is success for you, D-Gun, when it comes to Hurts this year?
It's easy to say that he has to improve on 61% completion, 3,144 yards passing, 16 touchdown passes. It's easy to say the numbers have to improve, but for me, he has to improve in a lot of areas that he already knows he needs to improve in. Accuracy, putting the ball in tight windows more consistently, being able to go through his progressions a lot quicker and a lot better and making the right progressions. Will he stay in the pocket a little bit longer to let one of his pass catchers free themselves up instead of taking off and running too soon at times? To me, if he can answer, if you can check out the yes box to all of those, I think the Eagles have them a nice quarterback for the future, and they don't have to move with a sense of urgency trying to look for another quarterback in 2023.
Okay, well, I just want you to do one thing for me, and this is a personal request. I need to have a YouTube of you grilling because I've been fired in my house by my wife. She's now the official griller with the lobsters, the scallops, the fish, and all the meat. She kicked me off the grill, and she's like, "Look at your guy Derek Gunn here. Look at Barrett. These guys. Barrett even knows how to make Chinese food. He knows how to make rice." And I'm like, I've been completely fired. I sit in a chair, and I'm the cold guy now. So if I need help, D-Gun, making steaks and such, man, I got to call you, dude, because I'm a horrible griller, man, and I love to eat.
Dude, I have 5 different types of grills on my
That's
patio deck.
insane.
Dude, I have a big green egg smoker. I have a Traeger smoker. I have the standard Black Weber kettle grill. I have a Charbroil infrared gas grill. And what am I missing? Oh, and I have the Blackstone flat top grill, 4-burner grill, 36-inch grill that we do hibachi stuff on, smash burgers and stuff like that. So, but it's funny you should say that because last night I'm sitting there watching the game and all of a sudden out of nowhere my wife goes, "Hey, did you see Barrett's wife's Facebook page?" No, why? Well, Barrett's making all these different dishes. Man, you better get on the job. And I'm like, Barrett is not picking up kids and babysitting kids around the clock, okay? Barrett does what he wants to do when he's done with the show. I'm babysitting kids. When my wife babysits the grandkids, I'm trying to go out and run errands. She said, "Hey, when are you going to be back?" "Why?" "I need a break." "What do you mean you need a break? I babysit them by myself the whole time. Why do you need a break?"
Oh my God! Man.
Oh, you have no idea. My house.
Oh no! Hey, I told my wife the other night too. I go, you know, man, you cook the food, and I'm in the kitchen until 11:30 cleaning the stuff up. She goes, "Well, you could cook, or I could clean." I go, "Damn."
See, that's me every night. I'm trying to watch a baseball game or something. 11:30, 12 o'clock, 12:30. I'm cleaning dishes. My wife is an incredible cook and baker.
So's mine.
Her cheesecakes, her chocolate, her chocolate ho-ho cakes, German chocolate, anything, cookies. She makes these chocolate chip cookies, dude. She makes these cookies and she puts a chocolate square in the middle of them. You hold the cookies, and when you bite them, the chocolate's running down your face. It's so soft.
God, it must be awesome around holiday time.
It's ridiculous. And on top of that, in Easter, she makes these chocolate peanut butter eggs. She puts peanut butter. Dude, let me tell you something. It's like crack, man. You can't stop eating them. You okay? You know.
I can't wait to watch you guys on Sunday, man. I think we have the best post-game show in the country. Clearly also in Philadelphia, man. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens on September 11th. Have a fabulous football weekend. D. Gunn, I have so much respect for you, and thank you so
Likewise,
much,
my brother,
my friend.
Hey, I just want to say also for everybody out there on your chat, hey, don't forget my Gun on One podcast is entering its 3rd season, and I'm moving it over to the JAKIB Sports Media Network, so you'll be able to see it on their YouTube channel as well as you get it as you always have on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcast platform. So. Podcast doing great. Our show is blowing up. As you know, your show is blowing up. The network's blowing up. You know, it's just a good thing, and happy to be a part of the family to get to talk to guys like you and Seth and Barrett and Rob Ellis and Mike Missinelli, man. Just happy to be a part of the whole scene, man.
I'll definitely subscribe to it today. Thank you so much, D. Gunn. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy your football weekend.
You got it, man. Derek Gunn, I so look forward to watching that show. Don't forget, it's right here on JAKIB Sports. We'll be back in a second. Keep it here on the National Football Show.